Hi, so I wanted to give a quick tutorial on how I do classical animation in a really simple terms. So what you basically need is you can just use a simple 3x5 piece of thin paper about this big. So the best example that I've found is that if you want to have something work from one side of the page all the way to the other, you're supposed to use keyframes. And the keyframes of something is like the three or however many primary pieces of art that you'll be making to be able to lead one into the other. To give the best example is I'll make a circle right here. I'm just going to make a really easy ball bounce. So if I put the circle right here, that's my first keyframe. So once you got a really good established ball, so this is the object that I want to have bounce. And now I'm going to be making 3 keyframes. So what I can do next is, and the best thing to do is label them as you go. Otherwise you'll completely get a little bit messed up if you're not doing it, if you can't remember where we had it. So what you do now is the reason why pages were so thin in the original animations is that so you can basically put one piece of paper right over the other, and then you can see very lightly right here where the ball was. Now you establish basically a ground that you want to have the ball bouncing off of. So you see it here, you just basically go down to here to give a relative idea, and then you can basically put the circle or the ball, as I'm doing, right here. So now you got one right here, one right here. So these are 2 keyframes that you'll be using. And then the very last one is you take one more sheet of paper, pretty thin, and then you can put it right over it. And then so now you have 1, it's very, very light. You have 2, and then you want it to where it will end. So you'll put it where you want it to end, right here. So now you have 3 balls. That basically is the keyframes of where you want it to bounce. So you'll have it starting here, the mid right here, and then it ending right here. So these are the keyframes. So what mid frames are, or in betweens, is that you're basically taking another sheet and you're going over each one of them, and then you'll just take the original 1 and 2 that you had, put it in between, and then so you basically put a circle in between each of these, or a idea of motion. So now there's like 1, 2, 3. So if you go really quickly, you can take each of these, and so 1, 2, 3. So you have an idea of an amount of movement to just give you an idea. I'll give you an overall look right here. Now this is very basic. This is how I do it, but everybody has their own style. This was the first part of my animation tutorial. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll be making a second part to finish up the video. I hope you enjoyed.